I think it, just speaks to the need for, an organization like No Child Hungry and what you guys are doing. And talk about the phased approach. So phase one, I know, is these hygiene kits.
The basic hygiene kit has that personal hygiene stuff, and it's in a drawstring cloth bag that can be used for other things once they get through that. So the rescue buckets have 32 items in them. Really cool, really important to get that bucket in a time of need because it has some really practical, sensible items. And then, of course, the meals, so they're able to get those, and all they have to do is boil those, and they'll have everything that they need.
Welcome into the Independent Thinking Podcast. This is your host, Rob Stotts. It's always a great time when we get together with our members and vendor partners for a prime time. I mean, great things happen, whether that's in the business itself of independent retail, the networking that goes on, and of course the Giveback efforts. And if you were with us in Dallas recently, you know that our Giveback efforts looked a little different this time. You're used to seeing, the meal packing tables and the action, the hustling and bustling of packing meals for kids, for No Child Hungry. And, while that wasn't physically happening on the show floor this time, No Child Hungry was there with us. And, the reason for the kind of switch in how we were giving back this time around was because of, if you're following the news and know of the devastation that hit Turkey and Syria, the magnitude 7.8 earthquake, the early February time range, then that need in that region was urgent. And we felt like waiting until Dallas and waiting until we all got together to pack meals and send over, it was just too far down the road to be able to do something. And we wanted to help as quickly as possible. So we teamed up with No Child Hungry, and they launched a 3-phase approach to their response to that region. Nationwide stepped up in support of those efforts, and we wanted to bring the awareness to Dallas and to PrimeTime. So we gave the opportunity to members to respond as well, and do so by sponsoring these hygiene kits and rescue buckets that William and his team are preparing and sending over. And the 3-phase approach, as I mentioned, also involves meals as well, and getting generators and critical power to that region, so that at the very least, we can do just a little bit to get the people over there, their lives a little bit back to normal. That's kind of the cliff notes of it. And we took the time while we were together in Dallas with William and his team to sit down and chat about it, and appreciate him taking that time, and want to share that conversation with you now here on our Independent Thinking Podcast. All right, we are back on the Independent Thinking Podcast, and what better way to do this podcast? I love doing them, at home in the comfort of my office and with my Rodecaster Pro and headphones and everything, but love to be able to do it on the road at PrimeTime and with the folks from No Child Hungry. William, appreciate you taking the time. A little bit of a different experience this year, and we'll get into that, at this PrimeTime, but appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us, and we're so happy to be back at PrimeTime again. It's become part of our year, a couple times a year, and it's so good to see everybody.
Absolutely, and we'll dive right into it, because for those that were at the general session yesterday, they heard our CEO, Tom Hickman, talk about how, it looks a little different, obviously, the efforts at this show.
Yeah.
We wanted to still give back, but we felt, coming off of the news of that 7.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria, the need was great, and it needed to happen, more soon than us waiting to come to a PrimeTime. So talk about,
right.
just your, before we dive into the specific efforts here, your team's response at No Child Hungry and kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, so, exciting year for us last year. We passed 50 million meals, over 2 million done by Nationwide, which is really cool, and Nationwide members throughout the country. When the earthquake hit in Turkey, I got a note from Melissa saying, are you doing anything? And we said, yes, we are. We're going to be rolling out a 3-phase approach. Having experienced the earthquake in Haiti back in 2010, we kind of felt like we knew what was going to take place there, and it is happening kind of the same. Earthquakes are different from almost any other disaster. So we began to prepare for what we knew they would need in a series. And the first phase was hygiene kits, rescue buckets, meals. And then phase 2, they're going to need generators and large tarps, and then more rescue buckets, more hygiene kits, and more meals.
I hate to compare disaster. Well, it's crazy to think that you were prepared for it because of another disaster that you helped with the response to. But are they, again, I hate to compare natural disasters, but how is what you're doing in Turkey a little different from what happened in Haiti and how you guys responded to that?
Well, in Haiti, the problems with the buildings really had to do with the structure of the buildings. Sure. It was massive. 40% of the population lived in the area where the earthquake hit. So it took so many lives. Right. But the infrastructure wasn't there at all whatsoever. They were not prepared, the response, all of that. They were a developing country. And so it was really devastating to them. It had an incredible adverse impact on their economy. Turkey's a little bit different. It's more advanced. It's got more infrastructure and stuff. But over 50,000 people, 3,000 in Syria, over 50 in Turkey. That's just a huge amount of people. So the structures went down, the concrete went down. So you have families that are dealing with grieving over the loss of a loved one. They also have injuries. So you have people that are maimed and legs broken and crushed. Some are having to have amputations all over. Right. So you have families that are dealing with grieving, and they're dealing with medical issues that are current, have to be dealt with right away, and they've lost everything. So they're displaced. They don't have a home. Everything they had has been totally crushed and destroyed. They're dealing with the grieving and with the medical stuff, and so even going to get their stuff, or is it safe to go? The water gets cut off, electricity gets cut off, can't turn it on right away because you don't know if there's a live wire someplace. Pipes may be busted, and you're going to be running water all over and flooding stuff. So it's a slow process of getting everything back. Somebody's got to, help these people work through that over the period of time. Excuse me. And so it's really, really devastating. Yeah. There's no way to describe really what they experience. I
have to imagine even, I believe it's part of the phased approach as well, is getting these products and the things, the hygiene kits and meals too. Obviously we see, here as part of this approach to the response. Getting the product there has to be difficult. What's that like for you, and how are you guys managing that?
Well, you get it in either by sea or by air. Right. Air is expensive, but it's fast. And so when we can buy some space on a plane, or someone will donate some space on a plane, we can get it by air. When we can't, we ship it by sea. It's 2 to 4 weeks, depending upon the weather, to get it there. And then you have to clear it through the processes of customs and everything to get it where it needs to go. So there are a lot of areas of Turkey that weren't affected by the earthquake. It's not like a massive hurricane that covers the whole country or anything. Yeah. So there's functioning infrastructure and everything. We're able to work into that and get it up to the areas where it needs to be.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that was my mind, was like, it must be difficult, but that's a great analogy. A hurricane does take a wider portion of land, so this is, it's more concentrated, so at least it can get close to the area where it needs to be, and then boots on the ground, I imagine, are kind of bringing it that last mile.
Yeah, and there's, around the area that's been affected, that concentrated area of space, outside of that, there are places and settings being created where people can come and get what they need and come and get assistance and such. And but when you've lived in a place and everything that you have, all your treasures, your pictures, your personal stuff, just a laptop, right. All of that stuff, when it's all gone and it's destroyed, it has such an impact. You can just lose your phone today, right. And you go, "What? I've lost my world." Imagine losing everything. Oh.
I mean, absolutely devastating, and I think it just speaks to the need for an organization like No Child Hungry and what you guys are doing. And so talk about the phased approach. So phase 1, I know, is these hygiene kits. So what makes up a hygiene kit, and how did those products that are in it? How did you land on those, and sort of how are they built?
Well, we do all of these products all of the time with different corporate groups. So we were prepared, knowing that those were specific items that they would really need. The hygiene kit has in it, the basic hygiene kit has a 3 ounce bar of soap. It's a hand-in-hand bar of soap, so it's all natural. It's got toothpaste, toothbrush, washcloth, body wash, lotion, shampoo, conditioner, that personal hygiene stuff, and it's in a drawstring cloth bag that can be used for other things once they get through that. So it's very effective. Then the rescue buckets. If I go to the rescue buckets, the rescue buckets have 32 items in them. It includes stuff for cleaning, the rags, the cleaning liquid, the gloves to wear while you're doing that. Then there's a washcloth for personal use, a towel, a bath towel. There's a roll of toilet paper. There's a roll of paper towels. There's Ziploc bags for you to put stuff in. There are razors, hand sanitizer, chapstick. Lysol wipes for cleaning, baby wipes if you have a baby. And so all of that's in there, and then we have to, finagle it to make sure it all gets in the bucket so we get the lid on.
I imagine it's like playing Tetris, but once you figure it out, you know how to do it.
That's right. It's bucket Tetris. And so everybody that puts those together, it takes them a little while to get it all in there. And I've seen them, get it half in there and go, oh, I forgot this or that, and they have to take it all back out and start all over again. And, really cool, really important to get that bucket in a time of need is really cool because it has some really practical, sensible items. No. And then, of course, the meals, our meals, and so they're able to get those, and all they have to do is boil those, and they'll have everything that they need. So.
No, it's incredible. And so I don't know if you can dive so deep as to explain what the different phases are. You mentioned 3-phase approach. So what will those phases be? What will they entail?
Phase 1, we did 5,000 hygiene kits. We did 250 rescue buckets, and we did 20,000 meals. Okay. Phase 2, our focus is on generators and tarps. And those, we're not building those, we're purchasing those, getting special deals, trying to get anything that we can donated to raise the numbers. But at least 50 generators and 250 large tarps that will cover like a roof of a house.
Right.
And then we're adding some more rescue buckets and then some more hygiene kits. So then phase 3 is focusing on meals, hygiene kits, and more rescue buckets. So when we're completely done, we will have 25,000 hygiene kits, 5,000 rescue buckets, 50 generators, 250 large tarps, and 100,000 meals. Wow. And those are the 3 phases, and we'll continue to get those over as we get those packed. Really, as fast as the support comes in for those things, will be how fast we get them together and get them over.
Right. Yeah, it's incredible and inspiring to just see all that come together. And so turn to PrimeTime and what you guys are doing here. Obviously, Tom mentioned on stage that Nationwide, on behalf of everyone that's here, has already stepped up. But I know you're still your feet are on the ground here doing work. So talk about that a little bit and what you guys are doing
typically,
this week.
We're packing meals all day today and all day tomorrow. And I got to admit, we do miss that a little bit. And I think some of the people that have run into us go, what's going on? So we've been able to explain to them. But we felt that the need to get moving on Turkey and Syria right away was important. So the sponsorship that they would have done for all of the meals, they advanced that to us so we could go ahead and get the ball rolling on everything for Turkey and Syria. And so we've done that. And we've come here at PrimeTime to give people an opportunity. We created some packages for dealers to be able to provide any of those items that we're doing, different combinations. They can pick a number, sponsor that, and that will sponsor the items that we've mentioned in the list. And then we've added another component because we want to pack meals with dealers all over the country. So we've created some packages for dealers to do that include even some sales training to help on the show floor, because the idea is that you you don't you give, and you give more and you sell more. You sell
Right.
more and you give more.
Yep.
And that combination, and all of that happens on the sales floor. It doesn't happen off the sales floor.
Yeah.
So we've created packages. We'll come in. We'll do a meal packing event. It will include a variety of things, including some training by Steve.
Yep.
Steve Bryant and Mike Whitaker.
Yep.
And so people can pick a package and help their store continue to do better. I know this year will be a little bit different year than the last couple of years, and we want to be a part of making every store successful.
No, it's awesome. And like I said, the only word that comes to mind, I'll have to pull out a thesaurus at some point, but inspiring the work that you guys are doing, and neat to see it, take shape even if it is a slightly different way, the fact that it's able to get there and immediately, serve those in need is awesome. So
here's the picture. The picture is this. I'm standing in Turkey, and I'm handing with my hands a bag of meals to a family. But when I am, joining my hands are all the hands of Nationwide.
Yeah.
Every dealer, every person that helps us, their hands are right there with me, and we're doing it together. We're placing it in the hands of that family that needs those meals, and that's a good picture.
We appreciate it. And one thing, last thing I'll ask you to do, we'll have a QR code if we can. I'll put it on the video as you're watching this at home. A QR code where they can go and land. I know you guys have a landing page for this to give back and help in these efforts. So, we'll make sure that's on there. But appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us. So make sure you do go hit that QR code, or I'll link to it in the description. We'll put a link to directly to it if you can't if you're watching on your phone. And you can't. It's tough to scan that QR code when you're watching on your phone, right? But no, we appreciate it, and we'll let you get back to it. This was
great. Thank you
a lot
so
of fun.
much.
Appreciate you taking the time.
So happy to be here. Thanks.
You bet. Awesome, and I appreciate William again. It's incredible the things that he and his organization are doing to help those in need. Obviously, children at the heart of their mission and making sure that every child's fed. But the response here to the families and the devastation in Turkey and Syria, it's just inspirational. And we're happy to continue to support them and their efforts and make a difference. So we appreciate it, and as always, appreciate you listening to the Independent Thinking Podcast. And we'll catch you next time.